Welcome to Coach's Corner Show podcast. Thanks for watching this show. It's four-wheel drive. That's right. Wednesday night, every Wednesday. My old high school teammate to your right on the screen, Billy Pendock, Syracuse great defensive tackle, and his teammate at Syracuse, Blaze Winter. Part of the four-wheel drive, Jamie Kimmel, Timmy Green, our high school teammate. That's right, 3 high school teammates. Jamie Kimmel is the 4th guy. I wish we'd get Jamie on. He played for the Raiders for a few years. I heard Al Davis really liked Jamie. So this show is sponsored by Sandy Sansing Chevrolet. So we got a great show for you today. An eye for talent. That's what we're going to talk about. Certain coaches have an eye for talent. I remember I did this right up quite a few years ago. And I remember in 2000, Coach Art Briles looked at a tape from a wide receiver who stood 5'9", 170 pounds, with a stature that looked more like a water boy than a football wonder boy. National Signing Day was like Wednesday, and this was on a Monday. Only Tulsa had offered this kid a scholarship. And he wasn't fast, big, or strong. And after 20 minutes, just 20 minutes of Coach Briles watching film, he said – this kid, he gave him a nickname called the Natural. Only 20 minutes. The moniker was for a player named Wes Welker. That's right. He could not be tackled. Welker ended up with more than 3,000 yards and 8 touchdowns on punt returns, an NCAA record. Yeah. However, nobody in the NFL drafted him. The San Diego Chargers signed him as a free agent and then cut him because of an incompetent general manager. He didn't think he was good enough to play. He played a few years with the Miami Dolphins, mostly as a returner. In his 3rd year, though, he got to play wide receivers and had 9 catches against the New England Patriots. Well, Belichick, he took notice. He said they couldn't cover him. So after the season, he traded for Welker, and more than 800 catches in 10 years later, Welker had an unbelievable career, 5-time Pro Bowler. So, Art Briles, he had great quarterbacks and Belichick with Tom Brady, but they also recognize talent when they see it. So, coaches, you guys both coached. You guys both played at the highest level. How can some general managers, coaches, player personnel not evaluate talent correctly? Is it that hard?
Paulie, you think about putting coaches into 2 different categories. Some of these guys just look at a piece of paper and they look at numbers. What's the vertical? What's the 40? What's the bench press? What fits in to these parameters? And then you got the guys that just watch 10, 15, 20 minutes of film, and I don't care what the guy runs. Maybe he runs a 4.8, maybe he runs and he projects that kid in his program, and it's very rare to find that coach that can look at a junior high kid or a high school kid and project them 4 or 5 years down the road.
Yeah, it's really hard to do that.
There are them coaches out there. There's a handful. Blaze, me, Blaze, you, we've all seen them, and the one that comes to mind we've all had as a coach is Coach O'Leary, George O'Leary. He was a lot of things, I will say, but one thing I will say, he could foresee the future with players.
Yeah, he did it with a kid here in Pensacola. That's right. A kid named Josh Sitton, offensive lineman. Nobody was going to give him a scholarship. Nobody.
Green Bay Packer.
Coach, great Green Bay Packer, Super Bowl winner.
Yeah.
2 or 3 time Pro Bowler.
You got it.
Nobody was recruiting this kid, right? So George comes in here to Pensacola and says, I want him. I'll sign him. I'll sign him to a contract, or I'll sign him to a scholarship. And he goes on and does great things at University of Central Florida and then the Green Bay Packers. So he was just and some sometimes, even good eye for talent. Blaze, what's your thought on the subject?
My thought is off of what Billy said. You have young coaches that fall into the trap of combine numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Again, football's an emotional, a physical, a deep thought game. It's not just he ran a 40. It is important to run a certain number. You can't come in and run a 10 flat and survive.
Right.
A lot of coaches, they live and die with the combine numbers. And the great coaches go outside the box. They sit down with the athlete. They observe the athlete when the athlete doesn't know it. They observe him to try to find out, what is he really like? Is he going to finish something when I turn my back or not? How will that athlete blend in? O'Leary, master, coach, O'Leary, hey, man, we're going to put Billy here, Blaze here. We're going to put Jamie on one side, Tim on the other. Jamie and Tim they almost want to beat each other up. We're going to put them on either side, not just because of their size, but because of their attitude, their competitive nature. Who will get there first? There was so much more than just, Billy's the big, strong guy. He's the strongest guy on the football team. He belongs here. No, Billy brought the best out in me. So a guy like O'Leary looks at talent and says, what will bring the best out of this person? And placement is very important. When I ask coaches, hey, what about placement? Huh? What do you mean? Well, where are you putting him? I mean, look at the NBA. Look at basketball. Critically important that you have placement that supports Curry, supports the other great ones that are on the court.
Right.
You can't just have the guy there because his numbers are right. So there's a lot I said there, but I really believe strongly O'Leary's masterful ways came from looking at someone saying, how can I bring the best out of Blaze when I'm on the sideline? Because I won't be able to
you covered
every play.
Billy or Blaze, you covered 2 or 3 points there that are real critical. Number one, of course, is motivating the certain type of guy. Number two, the pieces of the puzzle. Where does this guy fit? What position is best for him? And how can I help him be successful with his skill set at that position? That's number two. Also, number three, finding the right guy, an eye for talent. Well, you got to do character checks. You got to go see the kid and talk to his teacher, talk to his friends, you got to find out, what kind of teammate he is. Is he all in? Is he a heart guy? Does he love football, or is he just, looking to do something else? And this is an avenue. I mean, you got to find those kind of things. That's important to evaluate talent, right, Billy?
A great point. Probably the best point to this subject is what Blaze made about the camera is always on. I mean, we've all coached, and how many times have you told the guys you coach that eye in the sky is watching you all the time, not just when the whistle blows, before and after the whistle. It's watching you on the sideline. It's watching you, your integrity, your background, everything comes out when sudden change happens, and that projects a kid.
Hey, remember Billy O'Leary would say, you know what I love to watch on film? Number one, I like to watch the whole film from A to B, A to Z. I want to watch the whole thing, not just the highlight clips. I want to see what he's like when the team's ahead and when the team's behind. And also remember, Billy, the PAT field goal block.
Yeah.
I'll measure a guy, he said, from just watching that one play, what kind of heart he has, because most of them think the camera is turned off.
Yeah, they take the play off too. They take that play off. That's a rest play, especially after a touchdown. Defense is deflated. You took all the wind out of you. You're not really happy about the situation. Might have even been your fault. You got a minus on that touchdown. So the play right after that is critical on finding the guy's heart. All right.
Hey, Billy, what about the other thing, Billy? What about the other thing, which is stop looking at talent and saying, well, the NFL guys does this. Well, what level of coach are you? I'm a high school coach. Stop looking at the NFL. Right. Stop looking at D1 college. Look at where your kid is in high school.
Right. Paulie, I got a great point for. I've had a gym for years, and I've got a gym. I've had a gym for close to 20 years down in Pennsylvania. We've had 200 or 300 kids go through every year. And every year we take those 10, 11, and 12-year-olds and we put them what we call a threshold test. We find out how they deal with that first feeling of burning pain. Because when you're 11, 12, 10, 11, 12, you don't know what that burn is when you're in that squat position doing squat jumps for 50 reps. And we find out of those 50 kids, what kid cries, what kid quits, and what kid eats that like candy. There's that 1% or 2% that will eat that pain and want more. And those are those ones we project to go on to play on maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday.
Wow. Billy, I love that.
Wow. That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting stuff. All right, let's continue on because this subject has really been interesting me. Ever since I was in high school, ever since I was a first team All-State in football on defense, and I went up to Syracuse and ran some 40s. I think they told me I was too slow to play there. And it always fascinated me why Syracuse.
We got a lockup, Billy.
It froze.
Yeah, we got a lockup. Hey, but anyway, remember those days of being brought around even the.
I just want Bama just, and I go to Bama and I look at that school. They just won back-to-back national titles, and I'm wondering. I wanted to go to Syracuse. And I wasn't good enough to go to Syracuse, but I was good enough to go to Alabama. That kind of confused me. But Art Briles, I digress. I digress. Art Briles, in his book Beating Goliath, explains that a recruiting coach has to look beyond the size, the height, and the weight that you guys were talking about, and the speed of the players in the 40-yard dash. In his book, he mentions Wes Welker's high school play as a, quote, domination of the action, unquote. He's the one who's making most of the plays. He's the one in the middle, no matter what the circumstance. Welker has amazed quickness. He has quickness in a small area. Now, a lot of guys are faster over 40 yards, and I was too. I wasn't great in the 40. I think I ran a 4.55 40. But some people are really fast from 0 to 10. Their quickness is different than speed. And another factor Briles mentions in football intelligence in terms of understanding what the offense or defense is trying to accomplish, and then counteracting and knowing when, where, and why, and how to do it. Okay? Mm-hmm. So Art Briles says the difference in evaluating these players is that a coach has to understand unique abilities. Bill, you just talked about a unique ability. The toughness in kids. You guys zeroed in on that. But he says it has to be dominant. So let's talk about some of the other coaches that had an eye for talent. I remember Jimmy Johnson, Miami and Dallas. Boy, he picked a 5th-round draft pick guy named Zach Thomas, his middle linebacker from Texas Tech. He ended up being a 5-time All-Pro and Hall of Famer. Guys, can you think of somebody else?
I had a kid I was training. The kid was about 6'4", 6'5", freshman in high school, 240, 250. Never played football a day in his life. But I noticed the different tangibles he had. Now, he's going to school, this kid, at a school I'm not going to mention, but they weren't using the kid. He's sitting on the bench. He never played football. I went and transferred the kid to a school in Syracuse. He ended up playing 3 years, went on to get a Division I scholarship, played 2 years in the NFL. Now, that kid would have got lost if somebody didn't see his talent. Somebody didn't pick up on that eye on his talent.
Right.
Now, again, it's a very fine line. Just think about how many hundreds and thousands of guys are by the wayside because no one recognized what they had.
Yeah.
Right.
We've all been to the NFL. We've all played at the highest level. And think about those guys next to you and beside you that didn't get a chance just because somebody didn't recognize that.
Oh, I could think of Chris Good comes right to mind for me at Alabama. He only started one game at the University of Alabama. He was a DB. Started 7 years for the Colts.
Right.
I love this this area that we're in. I just love talking about this because we're all coaches. We're all so tied to self-improvement and watching others improve. And I know from my standpoint, when they go into the actual game of football, they actually are playing the game. The first thing I want to see is the primitive instincts. The primitive instincts of the ball. If you're a D lineman, the ball went to the left. Are you chasing it? Mm-hmm. Just the primitive instincts. If he's a foot behind and he missed a play, all right, I can improve that. But if his instincts are, hey, I knew what was about to happen before it happened, and my movement supported that, then I know I have a what? I have a player that could actually be something. And if someone came up to me and said, well, he runs a 5.4, I don't give a shit. He knows where the play is going. He's only a foot from making the play for a loss.
Right.
I can work with that.
Right. He's got instincts. Maybe you have to find that guy who has a nose for the ball, has that, just showing up. Like Coach Bryant came to Pensacola 50 years ago and it was looking for this fullback on film. Well, he saw Rocky Colburn on the defense showing up in the film at the end of the play every time. And he told the coach, I want that guy. He said, I want that guy. Whoa. Dogs got loose.
Whoa. What was that? What the heck was that? Was that a wolf?
Come here.
That was a wolf. Let's see the wolf. Hey, it could be a mascot.
I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm sorry.
Hey, you know what reminds me, Bill, of what you're talking about the guys that there's hundreds of thousands of guys that didn't make it. Yeah. You don't know how close they've come. Coach Jeff Rousey on our Saturday and Tuesday show, I talked with Jeremiah Castile, All-American, cornerback. Well, he was 5'8", 150 pounds in high school. Now, who's going to give him a scholarship? Well, Alabama is, because Jeff Rousey told Coach Bryant, this little kid can play. And sure enough, he ended up two-time All-American, 7 years in the NFL. I mean, it's just some guys who can see straight. Jeremiah Castile was only 5'9", 180 pounds in college, but he would strike you like a 220-pounder man. Because he had that little snap, that cobra strike. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Talk about a guy like Joe Riccardi. Here's a guy, Joe Rico. He had, he was 30 years out of football, and he's still looking for talent around upstate New York, and sending them on a train down to Tuscaloosa.
No, I would have never been at Alabama. I would never have the life I have. I wouldn't be here right now talking to you guys without Joe Rico Riccardi, man. Let me tell you. And not only me, Todd Richardson, he sent there. Yeah. Todd came after me. Trent Patterson from Syracuse, he sent to Bama. Yeah, Blazer, you got a comment?
O'Leary. Hey, I wouldn't be here without O'Leary, Billy, Jamie, Tim. I mean, the coaches, the opportunity. There's a lot of variables here.
I'm thankful for George too for not taking me to Syracuse.
Well, listen.
I wouldn't say anything.
Hey, I wouldn't. Hey, I'm married. I liked it so much in Alabama. I married 2 Alabama girls. Not at the same time, mind you. Not at the same time.
Don't play
going for number 3.
Yep. Heading for number 3, baby.
Three's
the charm. Hey, third time's the charm, man. Hey, it's better to go 1 for 3 than 0 for 2. You can get in the Hall of Fame at 33, batting average. You can get in the Hall of Fame with that.
You guys are the best.
Hey, thanks, guys. What a great show, man.
Good show.
You guys are the best, man. I love being with you, and I hope people are enjoying this because I certainly am. There's a lot of great information today. A lot of great information.
Yeah.
Thanks, Billy. Thanks, Blazer.
Guys, take care. And what we talked about earlier off the air, Blaze, make sure you get to the info.
You son of a...
Oh man, those guys are a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, but get some good information on this, man. Eye for talent. How do you find it? Good coaches. There's people that really have an eye for talent. They can see it. Some can't. But thanks for watching the show. Appreciate you. Stay tuned for these important messages. Without these great sponsors, this show wouldn't be possible. So long, everybody.
When it comes to buying your next car, truck, or SUV, you need a team that puts you first. Here at the Sandy Sansing dealerships, we're proud to serve Pensacola and the Gulf Coast with the best selection, trusted service, and deals that work for your family. Just like great coaches build great teams, Sandy Sansing builds lasting relationships with every customer who walks through our doors. Because when it comes to finding your next vehicle, there's only one name to remember. Sandy Sansing can.
75 years of service and high tech today. It's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348. High tech is a term often applied to advanced services and products in today's marketplace. And today, glass is much more than a simple painted brittle, see-through stuff we hit baseballs through when we were kids. Glass is now a product with unique flexibility in both performance and application. And Pensacola Glass Company is growing right along. That's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348.
Are you riding around in a filthy vehicle? Dirty car no more. Visit Ronnie's Car Wash today to get it shining in no time. They have 3 convenient locations with another coming soon. The unlimited monthly wash packages start as low as $14.95 per month with free vacuums, multi-purpose spray and towels. Visit them in Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, and soon Crestview. Don't wait, wash today. Be sure to see Ronnie's Car Wash on Facebook to see the latest specials and discounts. You'll be riding and shining in no time.
That's you trying to fix the plumbing yourself to save a few bucks. Doing things yourself doesn't always end well. The same goes for insurance. That's why Auto Owners works with local independent agents who tailor coverage to meet your needs and offer discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance. Because sometimes you need a professional to get the job done right. That's simple human sense.
My name is Steve Reynolds. I'm the manager and owner of Cordova Lanes, and we help keep your mind out of the gutter. Cordova Lanes is part of the community of Pensacola. Being here for 43 years, we've entertained more people than any other bowling center in the city. We sell fun for a living. Cordova Lanes is located at 2111 Airport Boulevard in Pensacola, behind Cordova Mall. Come on out and see us at Cordova Lanes Bowling Center. Thank you.
Over 30 years, you have seen the Orange Beck signs all over the Gulf Coast listing a property for sale or lease. Beck Partners is your trusted advisor in commercial real estate, property management, commercial and personal insurance. Senior Vice President David Valletto has been with Beck Partners since 1989. Take advantage of his wealth of knowledge by calling him today at 982-7352. 982-7352. Extensive experience in all aspects of leasing, sales, management, and site selection will make sure your expectations are exceeded.